Hey everybody, Rob Trevenant here, Trevenant Landscape. Hope you're doing well. Hopefully that cold weather's behind us, Snowmageddon is gone, and it is time to start getting your yard ready for the spring. It's time to start cutting back those tropicals if you haven't done it yet. Some of you may want to keep that brown stuff on there to protect them for the next cold snap. You can, but it's not going to damage your plants to go ahead and start trimming them now, and probably your yard's looking rough. I'm in my house right now shooting this video, and we've got a lot of nasty things to take care of, so check it out. So this is elephant ears. This guy, you really honestly don't have to do much. It kind of took care of itself, kind of melted, but if you want to, you can come in here and kind of trim it up a little bit. Just get some of that brown on there until you get back to some good juicy foliage. So elephant ears don't require a lot of work. This big stalk right here is fine. So I'm gonna leave it. This one doesn't really require much work. So things like philodendron that are kind of similar, cut them back all the way down until you get to some good flesh that is not brown. And I mean, honestly, philodendrons may need to go pretty much to the ground. But elephant ears, philodendrons, just get it back until it's nice and juicy and it's kind of a little bit harder and not falling apart. And you know, just see if they're gonna come back. Philodendrons, are they gonna come back? Yeah, they may not. Elephant ears are a little harder, they probably will. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, so a lot of you probably have ginger. This is a variegated ginger, they're kind of all the same. Easiest way to do this is probably by hand. You can use a loppers. Cut them down to, you know, maybe 6 or 8 inches. I mean, just cut them down as low as you can. But gingers are pretty hardy and they're probably gonna come back. So just cut them back a little bit, get rid of that brown, and get rid of all that debris. And probably in a few months, they're gonna look great. It's probably gonna take them at least a year to really rebuild that size. Back here, I've got some ligularia, a little bit more cold hardy. Really just get rid of some of this brown leaves and stuff like that for things like this. A lot of you are gonna have ferns. Just cut the brown out and cut the brown out, give it some time. They're probably gonna recover. Your biggest casualties of this event are gonna be philodendron. They're gonna take a long time to come back if they do. And then your bottle brush got hammered pretty hard if you have those. Cut the brown out, kind of pray over them, see what happens. So this is a flax lily. These guys got burned up really bad this year. They may look like they're totally dead. A lot of the plants are not dead. They're just gonna need to be cut back hard. This one, you need to take a hedge trimmer to it. And honestly, you're gonna wanna trim it pretty much all the way to the ground, probably down to, you know, 3 or 4 inches tall. Take a hedge trimmer to it. You can do these by hand, but it's gonna work best with a gas hedge trimmer. Trim it pretty much to the ground. It's gonna take a while for these flax lilies to come back. They're probably not dead, but it's probably gonna take them about a year to really grow back. So if you're not patient, you may wanna get another one. If you can wait on it, then it'll probably come back. Let's move on down grasses. So, we cut this grass back a few weeks ago actually for a video and starting to green up. I'm gonna go ahead and cut back the rest of these grasses. This is what it looks like to cut back the grasses. So all your ornamental grasses, definitely time for them to get taken care of. All right, your roses, these roses have been trimmed. These were trimmed about a month ago. If you haven't cut back your roses yet, definitely take care of that. Check out our roses video on our YouTube page and you can learn more about that. Okay, this right here, this is a banana shrub that got burned up pretty bad. You know, the best thing to do here, you can get your little hand snips and snip them, or you can get a hedge trimmer and kind of trim them up. You know, it's mainly cosmetics. Eventually this brown stuff will fall off, but it just looks bad. So the best thing to do is get a hedge trimmer and just kind of hedge over the brown stuff. And then within probably a month, you're gonna have all sorts of new growth coming out and it's gonna look great. So that's how we handle that. Annuals. Okay, so your annuals right here, these were actually covered with a tarp, which helped to protect them a lot. We've got snapdragons here, we've got some petunias, and we got some dusty miller, and back here we've got foxglove. I mean, a lot of your annuals are probably gonna be handled, that will probably be fine. You can trim up the brown, obviously, throw a little fertilizer on them and get them ready for the spring. If you planted them in the fall, they're gonna do what they have been designed to do in about a month. They're gonna be a little bit behind because of the cold snap. Little fertilizer, give them some water, and they're probably gonna perk up and look great in mid-April. Moving forward, this bad boy here. This was a butterfly iris. It got smoked pretty hard. Same thing here, get you a hedge trimmer and take it all the way to the base. Like I said, you can use these loppers here, but that's gonna take a long time. Best thing, get a hedge trimmer, trim them all the way to the base. Here's a photo of what that's gonna look like when you're done. Moving forward, we got some weeds going on here, a lot of winter weeds, definitely time to pull those up. Agapanthus, these bad boys melted. Let's go ahead and cut them down. Probably best to do this by hand. Get in here, just trim them down until you get to a little bit of a harder base. This is all pretty melted. So we'll show you a photo of what this is gonna look like in the end here. But cut these bad boys back and they're gonna come back. It's just gonna take a little while. It's just gonna take a little while. So that's what we've got going on there. More flax lilies here, same thing. We're gonna trim those down. Here's a photo of what they're gonna look like when they're done. Okay, and then, you know, a lot of evergreens, things like boxwoods, things like yews. Great time to trim those. You can't really hurt those right now, so great time to shape those up. Sasanquas are all done blooming. Go ahead and trim those. Your camellias may still be blooming, but your sasanquas, I guarantee you, they're done. So you can shape those up if you want to. But you know, a lot of the plants probably survived the cold snap. They just are looking bad right now. I wouldn't pull anything out of the ground right now. Do your cutbacks. Get rid of all the brown. Your banana plants, you're gonna want to cut them down to a few inches tall. Cut them at an angle. They can start growing back within like an hour. And but don't pull anything out of the ground. A lot of things are harder than you think. Your citrus may have gotten hammered. My key lime in the back, it's toast. But anyway, for now, start trimming that brown, get it out of there, and don't fertilize just yet, except for your annuals. And then hopefully this spring things will start greening up and get back to normal. Anyway, Rob Treppenall, Treppenall Landscape.